Welcome to a short video summary of the LG55B6. You can read the actual review via the link in the description or by clicking the info button at the top right of the screen. The B6 is LG's entry-level OLED TV for 2016. As such, it includes an Ultra HD 4K panel. It also supports HDR and Dolby Vision, however it doesn't support 3D. It comes available in two different screen sizes, 55 and 65 inches, and we're reviewing the 55-inch model, which retails for £2,229. In terms of its styling, it's a very attractive TV. It uses obviously an OLED panel, incredibly thin, only 4mm at the top. It widens out further down, of course, where the electronics and speakers are housed, and also the connections. But obviously, it is a well-styled, minimalist-looking TV. We really like the sort of silver trim around the outer edge of the panel itself. There's a 1 centimetre wide black border around the screen. Otherwise, it's a very clean-looking front. It sits on a classic style stand, which you can probably fit on most equipment stands, which is a nice change from having feet at either end of TV panels, which has been very, very fashionable this year. It's got a sort of a perspex column that supports the TV above the stand. It gives the impression that the panel is floating in midair. It's a great design, and we really like its minimalist but also stylish approach. If you flip the TV around to the back, you'll find that it's got a sort of a grey back to it. It's not as solidly built as some of the higher models, which use sort of more impressive materials like putting the screen onto a glass backing. This is just a classic plastic back, but it does the job, and it has all the connections that you'll need. So there's a series of rearwards facing connections and also sideways facing connections. There are two HDMI 2.0A inputs facing rearwards and two more facing sideways. Importantly, all four HDMI inputs are 2.0A, so they do support HDR, they do support Ultra HD, and they support HDCP 2.2. There's also 3 USB ports and a series of legacy connections, and they're all tidily placed at the back. I do think that the sideways facing connections are a little bit close to the edge, but aside from that, it's an excellent selection of inputs on this TV, particularly when you consider it's meant to be the entry-level model. Also at the back, you'll find a removable panel. That covers where you actually connect the stand to the TV itself, and you can remove the stand and then wall mount the panel if you want to, and there are actually 300 by 200 VESA wall mounts for that purpose. In terms of controlling the TV this year, well, obviously you get this latest iteration of LG's excellent Magic Remote. It's beautifully ergonomically designed, sits very comfortably in the hand, and you can easily use it with one hand, you can use it with your thumb. And obviously it's a motion controller, so you can move around the smart platform or the menu system with ease. It's a really great controller. We really, really like this. It's well designed and well thought out, and they've been perfecting it over the last couple of years, and I think this is excellent. In terms of the smart TV platform, obviously it's WebOS, latest version of WebOS, version 3.0. Essentially the same as the original version. They haven't really changed it that much because if it isn't broken, why fix it? But it remains excellent. It uses, basically it treats everything as an app. There's a launcher bar along the bottom, and you just go through the launcher bar and select whatever you want to look at. It couldn't be easier. It's very intuitive, and it remains probably the best smart platform currently available. In terms of other features, it has a 38 millisecond input lag for all you gamers out there, and it's also very energy efficient in terms of its energy consumption. Now, as always, we tested this TV using our Klein K10A color meter, the Meridio 6G Fresco pattern generator, and also Calman 2016 calibration software. Actually, out of the box, it was a very accurate TV. There was a little deficit of red and blue in the grayscale, but overall the areas were all below our threshold of 3, and the gamma was tracking around our target of 2.4. So an excellent out-of-the-box performance in terms of grayscale, and the TV includes both 2-point and 20-point white balance control. So actually we found we can get it very accurate with the 2-point, and then just go in and fine-tune it with the 20-point, and we got a reference grayscale performance with the areas all well below 1. And the gamma, again, tracking our target of 2.4 precisely. So excellent performance in terms of grayscale. In terms of the colour accuracy, again, out of the box, the colour accuracy was very good, thanks in part to the grayscale accuracy, but also the colour accuracy overall was very good. The colours were tracking their targets for saturation points within Rec 709 very closely. And once we calibrated it, it was even better. The white balance was, the colour temperature of white was hitting its target precisely. The colours were tracking very close. There were some minor errors which we just tweaked with the CMS, particularly in terms of the tint of the 3 secondary colours. But overall, it was an excellent colour performance and an equally excellent grayscale performance. In terms of its HDR performance, the B6 tracked the PQEOTF very closely. and across the entire curve. And also the three primary colours will track each other quite closely in terms of the grayscale. So that was very impressive. The peak brightness in its most accurate HDR mode was 575 nits, which is more than the 540 nits that's required for Ultra HD Premium certification by the Ultra HD Alliance. And this TV is Ultra HD Premium certified. In terms of its colour accuracy, well, it could deliver 70% of Rec 2020, but it wasn't tracking the saturation points as well as I'd like to have seen. In terms of DCI P3 within Rec 2020, again, it can deliver 98% of DCI P3, and the tracking was better than with Rec 2020, but it still wasn't as good as I'd like to have seen. It isn't as good as I've seen on other manufacturers' TVs, and it has been a bit of a weak point as far as LG's OLEDs are concerned this year. In terms of the actual performance with content, certainly it looked very impressive. There was plenty of detail there. And although the peak highlights weren't quite as impressive as they are on LCD television, there was greater accuracy in terms of being able to deliver it at a pixel level. However, there was definite stutter to movement in the footage when I was watching Ultra HD Blu-rays that was not there in the same scenes when I watched them on Full HD. So there seemed to be some stutter in HDR content that's not there with Full HD, and I haven't noticed it before in other LG OLEDs. In terms of the performance with Full HD content and also standard definition content, absolutely superb. The scaling is really good. Obviously the colours are lovely and natural and accurate. There's deep blacks, fantastic contrast ratios, great motion handling. It did deliver a superb performance in terms of Full HD and standard definition content. So when it comes to standard dynamic range content, absolutely brilliant. With high dynamic range content, there are some issues. However, given that you're going to be watching predominantly standard dynamic range content for the next few years, that is the most important aspect. And in that area, this TV is a stellar performer. So given that it's got a great performance in Full HD and standard definition, and a not quite so good performance in terms of HDR, I'm happy to award the LG 55B6 AV Forum's recommended badge. Thanks for watching.